Get 5 coffins ready.
So, oh, and she went full damage too. That's interesting. You know what's not interesting? This alpha. But I guess there's kind of more work to be done than I anticipated. Mr. Cranky Pants over here. Little by little though, it's getting better. Obviously getting better. New stuff. I would rather they just keep the roster the same. Balance out the items and fix a lot of the jankiness and like the UI bugs and stuff like that. I would rather they do that than put new gods in the game. But yeah, like I see no point in trying to rush out these gods because they're the same gods we're playing in Smite 1 right now. I think they need to work on the core game more than add new gods for sure. This is what's really getting annoying about Smite. It really feels like Smite 1 and Smite 2 devs are not talking whatsoever, and they're not acknowledging each other, because they're saying Hades has struggled this entire time when he was very, very good just a few months ago. Like, insanely good. And he's been on and off good as the sort of Mage Lifesteal builds have been good, and they're acting like he's never been good or anything, you know what I mean? It's kind of annoying. Okay, first and foremost, saying new Hades kind of peeves me. They should just say we're adding Hades. Hades has traditionally struggled between being a burst mage and a bruiser mage. I mean, torn between the two playstyles while not being particularly effective. Was one of the top picks, brother. Very, very recently. He was a top pick earlier this season, and he was late last season. It's just kind of annoying to me. It's just like, do you think I'm not paying attention to Smite 1, or are you not paying attention to Smite 1? Because, like, he's been good. You know, he's been good. To be fair, this was, like, more of a recent, like, boost, because they really buffed him a lot, like with the protections and his ultimate and stuff. The cooldown of his too, I think, as well. Yeah, they buffed a lot about him, and then he became good. So to be fair, he wasn't that great for a long time, but I mean he was just recently good. So it's a little annoying that they're like, well, he's never been good. He's never been good. We got to change all these things. We got to make all these changes to him. Okay. I don't really like that he can dash though, because I mean Blink Hades, that's the thing. And like you have a dash you could follow up afterwards. I mean, he's just I think he has inherent. He is boring. He is a boring character, but he has inherent things that balance him, and they're just like, let's just take away the thing that inherently balances him, you know, instead of like trying to tone characters back. Let's just make them more OP, so that, you know, it becomes even more difficult to create new characters without power creeping old ones right now. So that's another reason why they just, you know, why not adding new characters every single playtest as well works for me, because then they could just work on making the characters more interesting for Smite 2 as well, right? But for the most part, it's just like just skip it. Just save your Smite 1 gods, dude. Please, just keep them in Smite 1 for now. Just focus on everything else, like how Bologna basic attacks like an alien. 9 out of 10 gods jumps are completely broken. A lot of the keybinds need to be configurable. A lot of HUD elements need to be configurable. There needs to be an in-game chat, more feedback, visual feedback when you successfully land a hit, like animations when you successfully hit being better, little things like that. I think they really should focus on refining the game first instead of like the item shop is genuinely pretty okay. I don't think there's a lot of like OP items. They could leave the item shop just as is and just update and refine the game, make it feel better. You know, do a couple weekends where they literally just refine it. Just refine the characters they have, refine the mechanics on the map, find out something else to do with the interact key so it's not to the jump key. Yeah, they just need to make it feel like a game you want to play, because I don't want to play this right now because it feels like crap. It feels really bad. That's the main reason I don't want to play this. Yeah, but like I said earlier, like they're already down this path of like they're just trying to like figure out the item shop and stuff. It's like that should come after you make Bologna not look like an alien while she basic attacks. And not look like an alien right now, I just realized that is horrifying. And I also think figuring out items is a lot easier the less gods you have. So I think they should really slow down the amount of gods they have so we can understand the items better. Because like the whole like getting rid of Blink thing, I feel like they got rid of Combat Blink because they were bringing in Hades. I legit think that's why, because he would be way too strong with Combat Blink with the change on his ultimate. So I'm hoping they just like let the roster be as is for a little while so we can figure out the items better and then go from there. Because it's really hard to try and figure out how to balance all this stuff while we're adding more and more characters with, you know, with significant changes to their kits, like in Hades' case. they did some changes here and there, and like the combat text I think is a lot more readable now. But I think it should be color coded. They've color coded things in the like ability text, item text, stuff like that. That's great. Where it needs to be color coded is visually while you're playing as well. Keep that consistency. You know, have magic stuff be purple. Have physical stuff be red. Stuff like that. Little things like that. Just to keep things consistent and have it be like that. RB makes sense. I see that in the item description, and I see it on the screen when I play, helping people understand like because certain things scale with intelligence or scale with strength. Like certain things scale with strength but do magical damage. Certain things scale with intelligence but do physical damage. Make it super clear and obvious. A purple thing purple text came up. Okay, oh, it's magic. I know that now. Okay, I don't have to go over to the god and like read through all their abilities to try and figure out which ones are physical, which ones are magical. No, I know immediately in game if I get hit with an ability. I know if it's strength. I know if it's physical. I know if it's magical. You know what I'm saying? Just color code things like you're color coding them and the abilities, which was a great idea as well. So here's one thing. That makes this there's a big problem in this alpha, in these alphas. The games we're going too long the first weekend for sure. And so far, in terms of like doing objectives, for sure, all this helps a lot. All this has helped a lot. The main problem with games taking so long is because people don't know what they're doing. I don't think there's any matchmaking in this, which you know on paper sounds fine. But how are we supposed to get accurate and good data if it's just like a 3-man running around and just running a game, just running straight through it? If I'm just like a Kukulkan in mid or something, and I'm getting destroyed by a mid laner and a jungle who are together, obviously, say it's like the new overpowered Hades and stuff like that, and like say it's like a Fenrir as well. It's just like, okay, I just can't, I won't be able to do anything because they're just going to farm me. So I don't learn anything there. Or if I play against like a team with a DC because someone didn't get the role they wanted, or like they just don't know what they're doing and we just destroy them, like I don't learn anything from that. And then like if people on your team who don't know what they're doing and they're not grouping up for the late game and stuff like that, and that I think that is the actual biggest reason for games not ending very fast, is people you get teamed with and get teamed against people who don't know what they're doing, because they're just trying out Smite 2. Maybe they're like they're arena players. They like the casual Smite 1. They're going into Smite 2 because they're like, well, I just want to see what Smite 2 is like, right? And they know nothing about Conquest, and they're being dropped into Conquest. They don't know what they're doing. They have no idea what they're doing, and the games are just taking forever, or they're ending at 10 minutes because someone just leaves because they're getting destroyed by a 2 or a 3-man, or someone with a lot of experience in the jungle playing Fenrir. That was probably me. I'm sorry. Gotta say, I think this is one of the most. This is like when they released Equinox with 3 health per hit, and it didn't reduce the healing on AoE hits. That's the level of like, we're just gonna make the game worse now type of thing that I'm seeing with this. So they reworked Blink, so it's not Combat Blink anymore, but you can still Blink, right? So basically the gist of the Hades rework is he gains the ability to use one of his abilities again while he's ulting. So say Hades dashes on you and starts to ult you. Say you beads, say you're like a Zeus or something, or you're a Kukulkan with like a slow dash, your dash takes like a second to come out. So you beads first, right? And you're trying to get away from them. He can dash in his ultimate now. And it's just like say and he still gets all the protections in his ultimate. He's still healing in his ultimate because he's probably going to go lifesteal build. If you don't have protections, if you don't have purification beads to get away from him, he's going to 3 on top of you, and because the ultimate applies blight, he's going to heal off of you and detonate on top of you for bonus damage. And there's just nothing you can do. So for me, this is a very, very serious, very big problem, and I'm getting serious because this just means like everyone in the game is going to get a dash now. This is why Kukulkan got a dash. It's a little bit of a slower dash. They're trying to balance them out. Everyone in the game is going to have a dash. Everyone in the game is going to have hard CC to try and deal with things like this. Hades was decent. You had to go blink on him. You had to make sure you didn't get farmed in lane or anything like that. Not have too much anti-heal on you. But Hades was functioning as Smite 1, and now he can double dash. he was kept in check by the fact that he could only dash once, so he had to blink in first, try and get beads, try and get movement abilities, whatever, and then he dashes after you, fears you, threes you, and stuff like that. He typically can't get his full ultimate on you. Now he can just get his full ultimate on you every single time, no matter what. And if you don't have a dash to get away from him, then he just does the bonus damage to you with the 3 anyways, and there's literally no way you're going to be able to live. And especially because there's no Aegis in the game now either, so what are they going to do now? They have to, and like this also brings into question the idea that everyone has purification bees now, which can be really, really annoying to play against if you don't have 15 forms of CC and movement. So now everyone's going to have to get CC and movement because everyone has purification beads. Hades needs to add double dash with his ultimate because everyone has purification beads. This is going to be a big problem. This is probably the biggest issue I've seen so far with Smite 2. They are doubling down on the fact that everyone's going to have RCC. Everyone's going to have 15 movement abilities. Everyone has purification beads. This is a big problem. I think this is a terrible, terrible rework. They could have just kept the scout the same. You know, giving Kukulkan a dash, it's an interesting idea. It's so that they can like try and bring his damage back down. So they're just going to raise his damage again, and it's just going to be a whole power creep thing. It's just... This is a problem. It's a big problem. As with Soul, I mean, she's running the game right now. I don't know why they allowed her to crit, and then not only had Hand of the Abyss in the game, which gives you bonus damage on your basic attacks when you successfully damage with the basic attack, you get bonus basic attack damage, and she still has bonus basic attack damage on her passive. I mean, do you guys know what crit does? Because it does, like, you're literally stacking the bonus damage on top of each other, and of course her basic attacks don't just scale with strength. I thought they would, but no, of course not. They scale with strength and intelligence, so there's literally no reason to play any other ADC if you want just big crits. Just play Soul. There's literally no reason to play anybody else because you know, you stack Hand of the Abyss with crit with her passive. You can't beat her. Flat, no, you can't. Yeah, whoever you are, it doesn't matter who you are, you can't beat her. I was thinking about making, I don't want to be too negative, right? But I was thinking of making a video about Smite Season 11 and like how bad designed Equinox is. I feel like this is the same way. It's just like, are you not paying attention to what's going to happen? Do you not know how this is going to interact with crit, how it's going to interact with Hand of the Abyss, stuff like that. It's just like, you guys not thinking? Like, who cares if you're doing a crit build, your 2 doesn't do much damage, right? Oh, whoops, that's this one. Your 2 doesn't do much damage if you go crit build. Who cares? Who actually cares? And actually, if you do an intelligence build, her damage is still pretty solid with basic attacks, largely due to Hand of the Abyss as well. Luckily, they didn't change her 3, so I mean, if you're able to get to Soul, it doesn't really matter because the 2 gods in the game right now, the 2 assassins, are Loki and Fenrir, and all Soul needs to do is either time her ultimate with Loki ultimate, or time her ultimate with Fenrir ultimate, or just have purification beats up in general, and she's totally fine. She can outdamage them, no problem. Any day of the week, she outdamages them, and then you just have Kukulkan crying in a corner, Kukulkan and Anubis, because they can't come anywhere close to her level of damage. So there's like no reason to play them. Yeah. Justice. Base strength has been nerfed across all gods. I mean, that's fair. It's also, as I just mentioned, like the crit is really strong as well, but in general, people are just building strength anyways, because it'll, just like another issue from Smite 1, basic attacks, attack speed. Bologna's the best bruiser, right? Well, Bologna's the only bruiser, frankly. I played some Chalk. I didn't play Odin this go around. I think Odin's kind of boring. But either way, they fall off a cliff. Like, they're okay in lane, then they just fall off a cliff. Yeah, it's just like in Smite 1, because Bologna is able to use basic attacks. She's just the strongest one. She can use attack speed because the basic attacks are a little bit too strong in the game, and then... Yeah, they just had strength way above intelligence, and even though Odin and Chalk have intelligence scaling, there's no reason to go intelligence. Oh my god, it is a bit of a mess. And the problem now becomes, so you buff intelligence to try and boost these characters, and then oh yeah, Soul's gonna use it. Oh shoot, and Neith's gonna use it, and Neith's ultimate's already doing like 800 damage late game. Oh shoot, so we're running into problems already. But anyways, so yeah, they're buffing CDR already. Rutro. Did you guys know how much CDR was in Smite 1? And did you know one of the issues with Smite is that when someone messes up an ability, it doesn't matter because you back off for 6 seconds and it's back up anyways? Did you know that's why every single Fire Giant dance in SPL history lasts for like 20 minutes, because it doesn't matter if you use an ability or not and you waste it because the cooldown is so low, because every single build gets the full CDR and they're doing it again. Why are these 2 items here? So let's break it down. This reduces your active ability cooldowns by 3 seconds. It has CDR on it. What? Why? There's a lot of CDR for like assassins or like bruiser tanks if you're going that route, like Chaka or Odin. But this is mainly like the Fenrirs and Lokis of the world. They have Jotuns in this game. They have Tekogari, whatever it's called. There's a lot of cooldown rate on those items already, and then there's just Pendulum Blade, which just reduces your active cooldowns. Like your cooldowns are already low. If you build like not any, because it's not on your lifesteal items at least. It's not on the Hydras. It's not on Brawlers at the very least. And there's a lot of healing, so typically you like to go Brawlers. But yeah, if you just go like Tekogari, I think I'm saying that name wrong, but and then Jotuns as well, which is in the game because of course it is, which has 20 cooldown rate and a decent amount of strength. And then you go this as well. Your abilities have like a 5-second cooldown. Oh, but it's a 3-minute cooldown. 3 minutes is nothing. You can wait 3 minutes for your abilities to be, your item to be back up. You waited 3 minutes. We've had 10 years of waiting 3 minutes for beads to come back off cooldown. So what's the problem with waiting for this? We could just sit around and wait. We could just sit around and wait, and not do anything. We could just sit around and wait, and not do anything because everything has a 1-second cooldown. And then Staff of Mirrodin. Did you know that Zeus does not actually consume his charges right now? Okay, who tested this on Zeus? Nobody, because you can double stun on Zeus. Yes, it's a fact. That's why I don't like the buff to the ults, but apparently that didn't matter because I didn't really see anybody doing that, at least not in my games. But and then like I'm thinking about like Giannis coming into the game and double 2ing, and the way this works is it's not unintuitive. It's actually quite intuitive. It's too easy though. What you do is you press Q or E, whatever your active item slot is for Staff of Mirrodin, and then you can just double use an ability. You can just double cast any ability. It's so easy. I forgot that I had it active and I accidentally pressed 2 on Kukulkan. That wasn't great, but if you're paying any attention, unlike me, broken. This item should be broken. It's just Kukulkan and Anubis just do no damage right now, and Zeus does decent damage, but he dies kind of easily. So that's the only reason this isn't unholy broken right now, is because those characters aren't great. And then you got like Sphere of Negation, just like more love to intelligence. It's just, like more hybrid. Really, we're going more hybrid. That was never a problem in Smite 1. Like it's just they're just not learning anything from Smite 1. This is an interesting idea though. I like that. This is more like it. Just a stat. Okay, a little bit of mana. Okay, right? Am I wrong? This is what more Smite 2 items should be like to bring the power level down a little bit. Have items that don't have intelligence or strength on them, and they're trying to play catch up with intelligence, but instead of just like removing strength from other items, like something like Eye of the Storm does not need strength on it, but instead of taking strength away from that, they're adding intelligence to other items which have been problematic in the past. For example, like hybrid items or items with too much CR on them, and they're just like. And they add the strength or the intelligence. I feel like the problem has always been that they try and put power on stuff. That to me has been always the main problem. Why not have Chronos Pendant just have a bunch of CDR with no power on it? Why not have Jotuns have a bunch of CDR but no power on it, and other items have way less cooldown rate? Why are we still doing this idea of, well, let's just make a balanced item that happens to have 4 stats on it? It's not going to work. So what's the jizz here? What can we do to fix this? I think first and foremost we need to stop adding gods, and just like let the current god pool simmer for a little while. Nerf Hades as well. Keep him the way he was in Smite 1. If this is the alternative, keep him like he was in Smite 1. Not to say he shouldn't get changed at all, but this was not the change that is healthy for the game in any capacity whatsoever. So start there, and let's start balancing the items around what's in the game right now. Because you know what you do when you add more gods? Like, for example, Hand of the Abyss was not great last patch. Now it's incredible with Soul in the game. So we need to just stop adding gods so that we can actually properly balance the item shop. We can properly balance like how much health minions have, how much health the objectives have and towers have, and stuff like that. Because if we keep adding more and more characters, some of which were designed when Smite was already a few years old, I mean, we're just going to make this so much harder for ourselves. And we need to address some of the stuff like Bellona's animations. It seriously looks like she has butter or something on her sword, like she's struggling to keep her sword in her hand. Jumps break after like jumping 3 times, which admittedly is not that big a deal, but yeah. And then like not being able to move stuff in the item bar. you know, having to use the jump bar for your interact key, that needs to be changed. And auto run should not be numlock only, and we need to be able to edit our HUD. You know, things like that. Like really knuckle down on making the game function properly. Then we can start worrying about like more items, and then maybe eventually we can start worrying about gods. You know, like yeah, like I think if we just stop adding gods to the mix for a sec, we can do so much more. You know what I mean? Like I get people want characters, they don't want to get bored, they don't want to play the same characters over and over again. But that's how we figure stuff out. That's how we find out what's actually broken, what's actually working, what's actually not, is if we keep a consistent god pool. It sucks to hear, right? Because like we want more of our favorite characters, but the best way to learn is keeping the pool small and then slowly adding. Not adding 2 gods every time either. We can just add 1 god every time and just slow it down and just really knuckle down on what's actually strong, what needs fixing, what doesn't need fixing, and get some bug fixes in there. Get some bug fixes in there so this game actually feels like Smite. Because right now it feels like a mobile game. That sort of disconnect you get from playing a mobile game where like things feel floaty. You know, hitting things doesn't have as good an impact as it does in a fully fledged AAA game and stuff like that. Yeah, you guys know what I'm saying. If you played Smite 2, you know exactly what I'm saying. Everything feels floaty. Nothing feels quite as snappy or as immediate as it does in Smite 1. Yeah, it needs to be addressed because Smite 1 feels infinitely better than Smite 2 right now. And yeah, I think that needs to be addressed first. Then we can talk about items. Then we can talk about adding more gods. Rant over. That was 34 minutes. I don't know if I can actually upload it, but there you go. That felt good to rant about. Bye.